So, thanks for having me. Thanks for setting up the slides. I'll give you a short overview on how to scale up a national research data infrastructure, NFDI. And of course, implementing policies on the national level is part of that whole story. But I will focus today to give you a little bit of a picture of where we are with this endeavor. Because many people also in the coffee breaks ask me, what do you do in Germany? How do you scale this up? How does it work? Where are you? So, my name is Jörg Surefetter. I'm the director of the NFDI, which is a network that consists of, well, a couple hundred people already, 19 so-called consortia, and we have 207 so-called associate members. So EOSC is a bit bigger, but it's on the European level. But we have reached a certain scale, and we are still in the building phase. So let's go a little bit to the details. What is our vision? The vision is put in one phrase. Very simple, research data sets are fair. And that goes into the direction, of course, of what Karel wants to have. But I add some words here, 3 little words, for all and forever. And if you add these words, you have tons of discussions and you have tons of problems to solve. Why is that so? Well, FAIR, of course, stands for findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. You all know that. Now, for all corresponds to the classes of access categories. You cannot access all categories in the same way, as you know. DSGVO, or GDPR in English, is of course regulating access to some of the data. And so we have to ask ourselves the question, what does access for all actually mean? And it involves to solve the problem how to access the research data for targets groups in appropriate ways. And if we then add forever, that's the big problem of long-term storage, long-term archiving. And this one word, forever, is a big headache, as you all might know, for digital data. It's an unsolved problem so far. One of the solutions is make lots of copies and distribute them globally, which is not such a bad concept, but it doesn't work always. So we have to find storage concepts also for appropriate for all data sets. And with NFDI, we want to address actually all of that. We want to make all research data fair for all and forever. And the little story for that forever is, of course, coming from my youth in a book that you also might know. It's Alice in Wonderland. And there Alice asked the question, how long is forever? And the White Rabbit answers, sometimes it's just 1 second. And if you go to CERN, then you will see something like that, right? It's fractions of the second where you keep the raw data, then it's abstracted, computed, and distributed on the global level. So this is actually showing the dimension of for all and forever, at least on a story level. Now here are the selected milestones of the creation of our own organization. In 2020, so-called 9 consortia started. To give you an impression, one consortium can consist of 15 or even of up to 80 partners. Actually, the NFDI for Culture is the largest network so far. They have 80 partners in the network. We founded an association according to the German law. So here you see a picture where all the German states and, of course, the federal state are represented because they are our founding members. We get the money from the BMBF, the German Ministry of Research and Science. By March 2021, we became legally independent, so I became my own boss, you could say, and we employed all staff. So this is what Karel and Ute just did for EOSC, more or less at the same time, we could say. Then in 2021, also 10 consortia started, and what is even more interesting, we have created so-called sections, and they are working across all consortia. So we have a matrix-like structure. And the question of common infrastructure, the question of creating of metadata schema, joint ontologies, this is being dealt with in these sections. Also ethical and legal aspects, by the way. So these sections are really at the core of the interdisciplinary work. In the meantime, we have staffed all of our bodies. We have 5 organs, and we staffed all of them. And what is really this year something very special, last Friday, a proposal for so-called basic services has been filed. And this is a huge endeavor where all 19 consortia came together to ask themselves the question, what kind of basic infrastructure services do we need? And of course, it's about PIDs, it's about authentication and authorization and services the like. And we aim to solve that on a national level. Here's the bodies of our organization. It's the Scientific Senate, the Board of Trustees, the Consortia Assembly, the Directorate, and the Members' Assembly. And what it really shows is that we bring together different stakeholders. It's persons coming from science in the Scientific Senate, so it's the research people themselves. It's the Board of Trustees, which brings in politics, of course, our funders. It's the Consortia Assembly, which brings together the researchers and the infrastructure people. And it's the Members' Assembly, where the organizations, that's the universities, the Fraunhofers, the Max Planck, Helmholtz, Leibniz Institutes, they all come together. So in a nutshell, what this picture tells you is the whole research landscape of Germany is replicated in NFDI in the organs. The consortia of the first and second round, you will see here their titles, and from the title you get some idea what they are dealing with. So it's data plant, GHGA, consort SVD, biodiversity. CATS doesn't stand for the cats and dogs, but rather for catalysis. So it's a chemistry, chemical topic. It's chemistry, culture, health, and so on and so forth. And here you see that the consortia are domain specific. So every consortium brings together all partners for one specific research domain. And they ask themselves the question, how do we proceed best to make data sharing the new normal, as you called it, right? How to make open science and open data and data sharing the new normal in science. The target is to have 30 consortia within 2023. So right now we are in the third round of selection, and by the end of the year, the DFG, the German Research Foundation, will have selected and proposed up to 11 further consortia. And it is our task in the Directorate then to integrate these upcoming consortia also in the existing network. Some examples to make it more tangible. NFDI for Health is the National Research Data Infrastructure for Personal Health Data. Their goal is a comprehensive inventory of German epidemiological, public health, and clinical study data. And of course, when the pandemic began, it was their idea to have a COVID-19 task force to bring together the various bits and pieces that were spread out. So to bring together the data that was relevant to fight the pandemic. And that was a first indication of why is it useful to have an NFDI, because the right people were in the right place to have a quick answer to one of the most pressing questions, how to bring together relevant data. But here's two other examples, NFDI for Earth or PUNCH for NFDI, which is about the Earth system sciences, or the particles, universe, nuclei, and hadrons for the NFDI. And that's just 3 out of the 19 consortia. The sections I have mentioned as a core element of our work. The 4 sections is common infrastructures, it's ethical, legal, and social aspects, it's metadata, terminologies, and provenance, and it's training and education. And you will see a lot of similar activities on the EOSC level. So of course we are well aligned with what is happening on the European level here. What is interesting is you can find all the section concepts at Zenodo. So it's also our policy to publish what we are doing in an open way. And maybe this can be an input for further activities also on the EOSC level. If you're interested, please check out our community website. Yeah, thanks. I'm already there. This brings me at the end of my presentation, which gave you a quick overview of what we are doing in Germany. I think it's highly relevant to link to other initiatives. We will learn today of some further initiatives, but please, if you have similar activities in your country, please do not hesitate to contact me. I'm very happy to share and exchange ideas. Thank you.